Hi, I'm Graham from Castle Cameras, and recently I had the opportunity to use the all-new Canon R6 Mark III, and today I just want to tell you a bit about it. The R6 has always been a popular camera within the Canon mirrorless range. The R6 Mark III is something we've been asked about for a long time, and I'm pleased to say it's finally here. Canon have done an amazing job with the R6 Mark III. It's taken all those things that you loved about the R6 Mark II and the R5 Mark II, smushed them together, and now we have this superb camera, which is really all you need. If you're coming over to the RF system, you want to get into full frame, this camera really does do it all. So I was lucky enough to get hands-on and out and about with the new Canon R6 Mark III over the weekend. I managed to take it out into the New Forest. I went over to my favourite bike shop, got some footage inside there, inside the workshop, to give you a feel of how it performs indoors. I also got it outside in some brightly lit areas, but also in some really dark, dank, hidey bits within the forest where we got some great images of some mushrooms, which I'm sure we'll show you now. I'll just let Tom know in a second.
Yes, cool. I'll talk so the key as well. Okay, so it should be a little bit more.
The R6 Mark III, such a great camera. I really enjoyed using it. It's such a perfect all-rounder. It really encompasses that philosophy of the new hybrid mirrorless camera. It really can do it all. Superb stills camera, superb video camera, especially with the new features that they've put into it. It really is the all-in-one powerhouse. It is suitable for enthusiasts of all levels, but particularly advanced enthusiasts. Pros, a pro could easily use this body. Doesn't have quite the same degree of weather sealing as some of the pro bodies, but it is a really usable pro tool. So over the R6 Mark II, Canon have really listened to consumers and delivered the options and the things that people have been asking for. So the main thing was resolution, and Canon have absolutely delivered that with an all-new 32 megapixel sensor. It also has the dual pixel CMOS AF2 system, but with a really nice processor in it now, and the algorithms, most importantly, from the R5 Mark II. So you've got super fast AF, AF that can look for different things like animals, planes, boats, trains, but it does it all so fast, in stills, in video as well. Really superb autofocus performance, which was definitely something I noticed. There was no hunting, there was no delay or lag. The autofocus was on point all the time, especially with facial recognition. This is another feature as well where there's been an improvement, where it now does registered facial priority. So you can take a snap of someone's face, say in a wedding situation, you could take a photo of the bride, the groom, register those as priority 1, 2, and then the bridesmaids, etc. after that, and the camera will look for that first priority face and make sure that's in focus to start with. Other improvements will also include pre-capture, so 4K burst pre-capture, which goes at 40 frames per second and allows you to capture a frame just before, it gives you, I think, about 2 seconds just before you hit the shutter button, or a second. So you will absolutely not miss the moment. Great new feature. In terms of video, they've also really gone for it with 7K 60p RAW, which is incredible. It also does full open gate recording with frame lines for the open gate framing. So whilst you're filming, you can put the frame lines up, the guides, and you can see and you get your shot with the vertical and the horizontal format. Really great improvements in terms of video. So as a hybrid camera, it really felt smooth, cohesive, and not intimidating at all. Now, I know some of the recent, more cinema-orientated cameras that have come out, a bit like the C50, have the two separate operating systems for stills and video. So the look when you switch between stills and video is quite different. It can be quite jarring if you're not used to working in that way. Whereas the R6 Mark III, trying to make things a bit more accessible, when you switch between photos and video, the menu structure doesn't change. The display doesn't really change either. It puts it into the letterbox 16:9 format, so you can see that you're shooting in that shape of video. But like I say, the menu structures don't change and the interface doesn't change. So it's quite easy to really flip between the two. It feels pretty seamless. Having used pretty much all of the bodies within the Canon mirrorless range at the moment, I can definitely say that there has been a step up in performance of the autofocus of this camera. The R6 II, it was always great. It always felt like it did everything that the R5 and the R5 II and those other models did. It was just a bit slower sometimes, or it would just slightly miss sometimes, or it wouldn't lock onto everything all the time like the others did. But this R6 Mark III, it really feels like the AF performance now is lightning fast. It is no different really in practice, in my experience, to using an R5 II. Now, admittedly, I didn't go to a motor racing circuit and take photos of cars racing around a track or birds in flight or anything like that. I didn't have the opportunity to. But just in that general usage with things like my dog running around, I kept the video camera on, kept the camera on the dog, used the AF tracking, and it was just locked on the dog completely. It didn't miss a single frame. So, you know, I think in practice, in a real world situation like that, I could definitely feel an improvement in the performance of the AF. So excitingly, alongside this release of the R6 Mark III, we also have an all-new lens, which is this 45mm 1.2 STM lens from Canon. This lens is amazing. It is a fast aperture, high-impact lens for not a lot of money. Now, 45mm f1.2, I guess you're already imagining four figures in your head, but no. Unbelievably, at launch, this lens is coming out at £479. And when you see what I managed to capture with this lens, you will not believe that price point. In practice, this lens was amazing to use. Small, lightweight, weighing just under 400 grams, so there's literally no weight to it. Nice and small in size, so on that R6 Mark III body, it felt really balanced. And when doing videos, it felt so small, easy to maneuver, especially in that bike shop where it could be a bit cramped. I was easily moving around, taking images, no problem at all. And obviously the results I was getting back from it, beautiful shallow depth of focus, lovely tone, lovely skin tones as well. And that fall off to the out of focus areas was beautiful and smooth. So despite this being a low entry point price, the performance of it was definitely not entry level at all. Much higher. I think this lens will surprise a lot of people. So I think this camera is best suited for everyone, to be honest. Now, I know that sounds like a bit of a sitting on the fence, not really being specific, but it really is. You could be any kind of photographer, any kind of videographer, pick up this camera and you will get stunning results out of it. It can be used by pros. It's got all the functionality there. It's got open gate recording, 7K RAW, it's 32.5 megapixels, so plenty high res, 40 frames per second. I mean, there literally is no situation where this camera could not respond and get you that image. So really, this camera is for everybody. But it really is, like I would say, the true definition of a hybrid camera, properly a photo-first hybrid camera, I should say. It really is, for our type of customer especially, perfect. So the R6 Mark III, absolutely perfect all-rounder. If you're coming over from a 5D4, you're still using a DSLR, this really is the best model to pick up and start your RF adventure with. Anybody else coming from any other system, you will not be disappointed. This really is the cutting edge of hybrid all-rounders. So, as I mentioned, available body only for $2,799. There's also a couple of kit options, both with 24-105 lenses, one with the STM lens and another with the L series lens, 3149 and 3899 respectively. Available to pre-order now. Make sure you get your pre-order in. Head over to castlecameras.co.uk, get that pre-order in for that first delivery on the 20th of November and get out there with your new R6 Mark III.